Generational poverty is passed down generation to generation, just like wealth. Since the days of the French from the 1400s into modern days, the same families that were at the top of the upper echelon of society are still there today, no matter what the social and the political turmoil, the unrest and changes. They have been on top regardless of the changes. Now, in the United States, black people, by way of the government, were left out in the cold. We're trapped in a position of generational poverty. That makes a difference. That determines your outcome in your future. Is the reason why black people that were born into the middle class, especially as of recent, have fell down to the bottom. There is a reason for that. Because wealth and income are not the same. Yeah, you could have an income of 6 figures, but when your debt that you're paying, regardless of what it is, from cars, houses, college, etc., takes a lot of money to raise children. It takes a good sum of money to have a car, good sum of money to have a house. What do you do? What do you do for the next generation? How how do you take care of the previous generation? How do you take care of grandparents and parents? What do you do? How do you step away from your work and assist or be the #1 provider for anybody in terms of parents and grandparents? What do you do in that scenario? Do you trust a nursing home of any sort or retirement community where they don't care about you? No, you get together with your family. That's what black people do. Now, we don't have that in place. We just have the income of a middle class person, but not the wealth of a middle class person. You set up your future generations, your children and your grandchildren, to be in a difficult position. They may not get out of that scenario. See, the thing is, a homeless white person can be worth more than a black female, even a black person in general, with a college education. They're worth more than they are, because you have that generations of wealth to pass down from your home. For the average person, you pass it down from your home, and the ones above them have it from a investment standpoint. There needs to be a change. There needs to be a change, a real change. The United States government crapped on black people. They crapped them on a way where they be at the bottom, and all they can fight for is criminal justice. Yes, criminal justice is important, but it's not the only thing that's important to black people. You need economic base, economic infrastructure. You need to rise up. You need to take care of the economics as well. You have people, politicians, black politicians, white politicians, that will not address the economic issues that black people in general have. Some black people think they may have it, and they may do, but can you, in the position you are, take care of any children you may have, or take care of your parents, your grandparents, whatever that might be? Or can you contribute to those situations? Can you contribute to anything else with your aunts, uncles, etc., 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 for whatever they're going through? Can you be in your 20s and have all kinds of situations where your parents may fall behind? They may die. They may have situations where they become disabled. Can you take care of that? Can you contribute to someone else that is taking care of them? No, you probably can't, because of the position that black people put in by the United States government, by the United States itself, government sponsored. That is the difference. That is the difference between black people and the rest of the United States of America. You're going to have trouble taking care extendedly to your children, extendedly to your mother, extendedly to your father, extendedly to your any other grandparents, aunts, uncles, etc. Can you do that? Probably not. Can you do that? Probably not. The thing is, hold your politicians accountable. Poverty is passed down just like wealth. from generation to generation. Yes, some people do overcome and rise beyond that. They do. But most people, most black people do not. They may think they're middle class, but they're really not. Because when it comes to the stress test, just like the banks, the Wall Street banks go through a stress test. Can you handle the stress test? Can you handle the stress test? Can you handle not having a down payment for your home? Can you handle in your early 20s somebody dying? Can you handle in your early 20s somebody becoming disabled like a parent? Can you handle losing people and trying to assist whoever else is in position to do something? Can you be the primary person in general? I doubt it. Can you even help? Maybe. You can provide emotional support. You may can provide a little bit doing certain things. But things happen. Things happen. Just because you have a middle class income does not make you middle class. It's about wealth. It's about life insurances, having your will in order. It's about having job opportunities where you can create that middle class and having a stability within that middle class, primarily that will have to be by reparations because the government stole from black people, to pass down wealth, to have yourself in a position to take care of other people. People can barely take care of their children. What are you going to do when other people in your family needs help? What can you do? What can you do? You may have to sacrifice yourself, live lower than you want to live, to make that sacrifice for your family and live on the edge of society. What I'm saying, most importantly, hold your black politicians accountable. Poverty is passed down just like wealth is passed down. Never forget that. Yes, criminal justice is important for black people. And why I focus on black people right now? Because the United States government put black people in a bad position. It wasn't by luck. It wasn't by some crazy investments. Literally, the government put black people in a bad position. Something has to be done. Hold your politician accountable. Hold your Democratic politicians accountable, which the majority of black people vote for. Remember that. What can you handle? Your stress test, just like the bank. If you can't handle your children, you can't handle your mother, you can't handle your father, you can't handle your extended family, you can't handle some of your grandparents, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. No one else goes through that. No one else goes through that. If they went through that, it was self-inflicted. Self-inflicted. Black people, your affliction was by way of the United States government. That is completely unacceptable for the government to hold you back. For the government to hold you back. Hold the government accountable. That's what you need to do. You need to take care of your people. Huh? That's what I'm talking about. You know what it is? Makes no sense. It makes no sense. I repeat myself. It makes no sense. Now, hold your government accountable. That's the only thing I'll keep repeating. That's the only thing I'll keep repeating. Hold your government accountable. Can you take care of the people around you? Can you sustain a loss? Can you sustain illnesses that will come around you? I don't know about none of that. You can go for the middle class because you were never in the middle class in the first place. You can afford certain things in terms of education. Yeah, everyone thought education was important. I thought education was important. And it is important. But there's levels to this thing. Knowing where you stand. White people in rural America know where they stand. They know they can't go to big time universities, etc., etc. if they can't obtain any type of athletic scholarship or any other type of scholarship. When you're black, you're thinking, hey, maybe I can make it, maybe I can become something. And there was a time and point, it was affirmative action where if you were black, you did great things, you can have a chance. But that affirmative action went to everyone else besides the descendants of slaves, black descendants of slaves. So you're in a bad position right now. It went backwards. It's not like any parts of the 90s. After the 90s, it went downhill for black people in terms of affirmative action. So, pay attention. Think. Use your mind. Don't trust everybody. Don't trust Democrats. Just because they talk a good game to some extent. All tides rising tide lifts all boats. No, you need something specific for black people. Something specific for black people. Remember that. Remember that. Poverty is generational, just like wealth is generational. You may be blinded to what poverty is. It's because you're in the middle class. But guess what? You're not in the middle class. Unless your wealth is middle class, your wealth needs to be middle class. And you'll learn. You'll learn. All right. That's what it is. Remember that. That doesn't just apply to black people. But in the United States, it does apply to black people. Other places in the world, it applies to different people. Know where you're at. Ask your government. Demand something. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Iceberg Jim out. Deuces.